I have some remarks here I had prepared about figuring out what you want to do with your life. So thank you, Sean, for keying me up for that. I had a nice little framework, but I decided that it's a little dry. I'm going to try and make it a little more personal, visceral, and I'm going to try and explain why you should all really figure out what you want to do with your life, and that should be making robot cats. So robot cats are kind of like the ultimate business model. You make your robot cat, you get your webcam, stream it to YouTube, and you have infinite ad impressions. Everyone loves it. World peace, we're good. So how do you know that that's what you want to do? How do you know that robot cats are really the thing for you? You know, maybe you're the 1% that doesn't like cats or robot cats or cat videos. So I'm going to talk about this from 3 different angles: neuroscience, computer science, and finance. Please bear in mind that I only have a computer science degree. I have 3 pieces of paper. None of them say neuroscience. None of them say finance. So take it all in appropriately. So starting off, neuroscience. There's been a lot of research on what we want, what motivates us, what gets us done. You know, why can't we lose all that weight even though we say we want to? I've put on about 30 pounds since I graduated here. I would like to drop it, but it hasn't happened yet. Neuroscientists, you know, looking in, originally digging into the brain, sticking probes in the brains of rats, found that what we want and what we like, these are different parts of the brain. If you stick an electrode in the right spot and wire it up to a button, the rats will push it and push it and push it until they collapse, because all they want to do is push it. The rat wants the button. The rat's not really happy. If you look at it, it's a little sad rat face. There's another part of the brain, if you put the electrode in there, the rat just sort of lies there with a silly grin, licks its lips. I think that's what happy rats do. And so, you know, that's sort of the pleasure, liking part of the brain. And these are very different parts of the brain. Some things trigger one more than the other. If you get imbalances, you have drug addictions. Or you have things that you like. It'd be nice for poverty to go away. But maybe we're not all doing everything we can on that. I know most charities have a lot of trouble getting money from me unless they say, I'm Children's Hospital. Then I give them all my money, but that's a different story. I want to help the Children's Hospital. I don't want to give money to every charity that asks me. So what we want and what we like are very different. And if you can be honest with yourself about what things you really want to do and what things you would like, but you don't want to do, then decision-making is going to be a lot easier. One way to tell that what you want to do is, what are you doing? That's actually the biggest thing. The things we want, those are really motivating us. If you find yourself trying to do things, you staying up at night, reading, trying to learn about it, having trouble going to sleep because you're thinking, how will I get my robot cat out the door? Should it chase laser pointers? Do I need a robot mouse? If you're doing that at night, maybe you should be spending some more time on your robot cats. If you're thinking, I gotta watch CSI, Game of Thrones, I don't care about those robot cats, don't go do a robot cat startup. You won't be happy. So, first thing you really need to do is just, what do you want to do and what's nice? And just don't worry about the things that you just like. Focus on the things that you really want to do. Maybe you can't do them yet. Maybe you need to do a lot of homework. You need to learn a lot. Maybe you need to plan a lot. Maybe you need to find people to help you. But those are the things that we're focus on. And anything that you truly just like, don't worry about it. It's okay. So that's lesson number 1. So number 2, computer science. Once you've identified what you want to work on, then there are probably lots of pieces in making it happen. If I'm going to do a robot cat startup, maybe I need some money. Maybe I need a team of people to help me. Maybe I need to learn how to manage. Maybe I need some practice doing that. So if you really want to go out and build your robot cats, you need to figure out how do you get the robot cats out? What is everything you need to do? And if you're being honest with yourself, I really want to make robot cats, and these are the things I need to do, then you should really want to do all those things. If you're saying, okay, I need to make robot cats, I need to learn about engineering. Oh, we don't do hardware in computer science. Actually, I just heard that's not totally true. That Maker lab you have now, that used to be our old undergrad lab. We all used to squeeze into there in the basement in the dark. So you got it good. But back in my day, we didn't really do much in the way of hardware. We talked about circuit design. We talked about how to make the circuits efficient, but we weren't really hands-on. We didn't build anything that you could just touch. So for my generation, we need to learn hardware. And if you're saying, you know, hardware, that's hard, maybe you don't really want to make a robot cat. Go figure out what you want to do instead. This is basically priority inheritance, which I know everyone here with a cap knows about, or Ozer's going to cry and take your diploma. If it's important to you, if you want to do it, and anything that supports that, it should be important to you, you should want to do it. If it doesn't make sense, then maybe you don't really want to do it. That's okay. Just, if it's important and it makes what you want happen, then you should figure it out. So basically know what you want, know what you need for what you want. You should want that too. If it doesn't, got to go back, think about what you really want. So that's my brief computer science bit. A little bit of priority inheritance. The last piece from finance is a little fuzzy. So one of the most basic things you can do in finance is build portfolios. I'm going to invest in Apple. I'm going to invest in Google. Maybe some Facebook. Is Snap out yet? Good. Okay, get some of that. When you're assembling a portfolio, the two trade-offs that most people are thinking about are, how much money am I going to make that? How good is this return going to be? You know, and how risky is it? Is it going to lose half the value every time Apple has their quarterly earnings and people are unhappy that they only grew 15%? Or so do you want it to be a really high return and you're okay with the roller coaster? By the way, this is how startups work too. You're betting on something really big, but there's risk involved. Or you want something really safe. Maybe instead of starting your robot cat company, you'll go to Facebook or Google, and they'll give you a steady salary, but you're not getting a share of the next Instagram or WhatsApp sale. So the there's always going to be a basic trade-off between how much can you get of what you want and what are the risks. Going back to what you want to do with your life, there are risks. There's a lot of work to do for building your robot cats, and there are probably other things that you have in your life that you care about. For me, the biggest dominating one is my family. I'm married, I have 2 kids. They're waving now. Any choice about what I want to do is affected by how it affects my family. In a way, it's a stabilizing influence. If someone comes to me and says, hey, I'm doing a robot cat startup, I'll be like, yeah, that's great. I want to do robot cats. What's going on? Do we have funding? Is this going to be are you venture funded? Can we do it? Is it stable? Or are you asking me to quit my job, go without pay, and we'll see what happens in a year. So John described me doing that before. When I started at Kogo, we didn't get paid, but it was something I really wanted to do at the time. A bit John left out of my story there was that I worked for about 10 months at another startup between graduating with my PhD and starting at Kogo. I was working at a finance startup, and they actually paid me to solve NP-complete problems, which is not something that was advertised in CS 332, but worked out. And John reached out to me about this time of year and said, hey, we've got this thing going on. And I was just out of school, I had no savings, I couldn't go without a paycheck. But I decided to moonlight. This sounds cool, I can buy a house off this. That's something I want to do too. So I started working at night, doing this too, and over the next 6 months, I realized that I was working 2 full-time jobs. It wasn't just, I'm working a couple hours at night. Like, I would work, go spend some time with my girlfriend, who's now my wife, and then I would go home and work till the wee hours of the morning. I was working 2 40-hour jobs at the same time because my work for Kogo just totally captivated me. I really wanted to work on it. I was really lucky to have something that got my attention so much, and I really wanted to work on it. And that's the kind of thing that you want to be paying attention for, like what grabs you so much, what feels so important that you just have to do it. But it doesn't mean that you should just drop everything and forget all your responsibility and do it. You have trade-offs. Back then, I didn't have a family. That wasn't an issue. But I did need to eat. I kind of want to eat. I think pretty much everyone here does. So I had to make trade-offs. So you've probably heard that you can get good grades, you can have a social life, or you can sleep. That's sort of the standard college 3. I gave up on sleep. But it was something I really wanted to do, and I picked my trade-off, and I did it. Now, someone might say, well, John, you sort of screwed Jeff over. He didn't sleep at all for like 5 years. But the thing is, I chose to do that. It was a trade-off. It was something I wanted to do. And John offering me this choice, if I thought things through, it couldn't make me worse off. Because if I decided, this is a bad idea, the search engine marketing, Google, they're not going anywhere, then I would just say no. So having choices is always good. You can always pick something better from what you have. Knowing what you want, knowing more things that you want, is a good thing. You should never be saying, I have so many things I want to do. It's terrible, I can't do anything. It really should be like, I have so many things I want to do, and I got to pick like the top 2 or 3, so I'm really happy doing things I really, really want to do. Maybe it's not robot cats. You're probably sick of robot cats at this point. But if you're really honest with yourself, what do you want to do? What do you need to do to make this happen? Then I think there'll be a lot of clarity, a lot of stress going out of your life because you've thought about it hard and you're doing what you really want to do with your life. I'm not saying follow your passion, drop everything and do everything, but really think about it. If you know what you want and you've made a good choice trading off all the different things you want, then you can't help but being happy. Thank you.